Is it possible to keep a reef tank in a Rubbermaid tub? Stay tuned. What's up everybody, and welcome back to another video. So about 10 months ago, I had a dilemma with my frag tank. I had, I don't know, 20 to 25 pounds of Haitian live rock that I needed to get out of that tank. So I needed to find another place to put it, but I did not have a spare tank. So I want to show you what I ended up doing. Come along. Okay, so let's take a trip to the old equipment room. Go through the main room here into the frag tank room. We'll open that up, fire on some lights. All right, so this is a Rubbermaid tub, and how many gallons is this? This is a 37-gallon Rubbermaid tub, and I had a spare one. So that is what I put the live rock in 10 months ago. And let me turn on this little DeWalt utility light here to shine into this utility tub. A Rubbermaid 37-gallon utility tub. And check this out. There are Aiptasia and bubble algae that are proliferating in this reef tank in a Rubbermaid. And the only thing in terms of equipment that I have in this Rubbermaid is this power head. That is it. I do not have any heaters in here. I don't have a anything to skim into this Rubbermaid. I just have a power head, and I don't have any light over. I do not use this, on the Rubbermaid to light it. What's going on is the Rubbermaid is getting residual light from the frag tank. So I've got the metal halide 400 watt radiums that are spilling into that Rubbermaid, and there might have been a couple of Aiptasia on the rock, and there might have been a decent amount of bubble algae. I had a bunch of bubble algae, but I put in some emerald crabs into the frag tank, and then we're starting to work it over pretty good. But look at this. This is 10 months, and all this stuff is like thriving, and it just amazes me. So there's a couple lessons here, because I'm not just trying to be cute and say that you can keep a reef tank in a Rubbermaid. There's a couple of lessons here. Lesson number one is that you do not need a lot, in terms of equipment, and an actual fish tank to keep live rock alive. So if you have some spare live rock and you don't have a spare fish tank, go out to Home Depot or wherever, and or go up into the attic and pull out a Rubbermaid, which is what I did. Put it in the Rubbermaid, put a power head in there to keep that circulation going, and you can keep this stuff going. I mean, look at this, 10 months later, and this is a testament in terms of the power of live rock and really how easy it is. I mean, I've probably, maybe once a month, I've done a little bit of a water change on this thing. I take a little, water out of it with this little pail right here. So I'll take a little out. I'll take some water from the frag tank and put it back in here. I'll also, once a week, take some RODI water from this 55-gallon drum and put it in the Rubbermaid. The salinity on this thing is 1.026. Believe it or not, it's got it's a little high in nitrate. It's a 50 part per million in terms of nitrate. Phosphate's a little high at 0.35. Calcium is pretty darn good at 410 parts per million. Alkalinity is a little bit low at 7.3 DKH, and the magnesium is 1380. So, obviously if I wanted to put some corals into this thing or some fish in here, I would probably start running into some issues But I think, you know, lesson number 2, in terms of having this live rock last so long in this Rubbermaid, is really, it's all about the power of live rock as a biological filter to maintain and start a reef tank. So I really feel it's very important to seed a new, you know, tank with live rock and not to start it with 100% dry rock. I did that once, and believe you me, I think those booster nitrifying bacteria products are great and they would help, and I recommend using those even if you start a tank with live rock to move things along. But in my book, live rock is a necessity. I would recommend you know, using a large amount of live rock with a new reef tank. You don't need to have it all in, you know, in the display tank. Put it in the sump. Get live rock, put in the sump. Have another refugium maybe set up next to the sump, feeding into the sump with the live rock to help seed the tank. But in my view, what this is proving to me is the power of live rock as a source of biological filtration. So those are the 2 lessons. You know, one, you know, you don't need a lot to keep live rock alive. If you have extra live rock in your tank, frag tank or whatever, then you don't need another fish tank or a lot of equipment to keep it alive. Get a Rubbermaid. And 2, this just proves to me how powerful live rock is as a source of biological filtration. And the proof is in the pudding. So anyway, that's what I wanted to point out here, and just it just amazes me that, you know, life can be sustained like this so easily with such a simplified system.
Well, that'll do it for this video. Many thanks for watching. And if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to be alerted to my latest videos. I also want to remind you about my reef keeping masterclass. It's an online class. It's an immersive experience about best practices in keeping an SPS reef tank. I also want to remind you about my SPS frag store, and I will leave links for both in the video description below. Until next time, see ya.